Watch this for a 2-week Japan travel guide. Likely land into the crazy capital of Tokyo, which is a city you could easily spend weeks in, but in the space of a few days, you can cover off a lot of ground. I'd honestly recommend only a few bits of obvious sightseeing in places like Shinjuku and Akihabara, but the true magic of Tokyo lies inside its buildings. Visit the Makayas, which are basically 10-20-story buildings that are comprised of a very weird mix of things like animal cafes, kinky bars. Sounds weird, but it's actually a bit more interesting than you think. Then you can go clubbing and gaming with locals and find anything beyond your wildest dreams. Anyway, I'm rambling. Moving on, stay for a night in a local town near Mount Fuji for those famous views. I stayed in Fujiku Wagyu Chico, which is one of the hardest places to pronounce in the world, but stay there. Now, on to Kyoto, a noteworthy stop for a few days for some crazy food and drink action and traditional Japanese culture. You can find geishas, stunning ancient Japanese architecture, and destroy some unreal red meat after you get some class new pics for Tinder. Also, a big fan of Kyoto for this fortune cookie machine, locally known as Omijuki, which said I was in for great luck. Now, on to the main reason I came to Japan, Super Mario in Osaka. Universal Studios is an absolute must-do and bookable online. Very fun, wholesome day out with Mario and Denman. Osaka was wild for nightlife as well. Karaoke was insane, and the gaming and arcade scene much the same as well. It totally captures Japan's quirky nature and gives you the opportunity to eat some bizarre things like shark sandwich. Out of Osaka, you can and should visit Nara Park to feed the somewhat aggressive deers and have a walk around if that's your idea of a good hangover cure. Other highlights here include the fishing restaurant, which I posted a reel about before, a man making the origami, and this random owl knocking about in Osaka Castle Park. I had a brief 2-night stop in Hiroshima for the History Museum, which was probably the most interesting and harrowing of museums I've ever seen, and a good place to slow down after a hectic couple of weeks of travel. And as a bonus, I'd also whack in Fukuoka in the south on for a couple of days, as it offers cheap onward travel to Korea if that's where you're going. Also, me and some Dutch lads in the hostel found a crazy nightlife scene here too, so probably worth having a check-in if it's your last night. So that's Japan in 2 weeks. Screenshot what you see now to plan your trip to Japan.